Hello my friends, Virus here, and Nintendo just held probably the biggest gaming presentation of the year, the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. And there was a lot that was shown off. In case you missed it, I reacted to it on Wednesday on this channel instead of my React channel. Just because I've done so much Switch 2 stuff on this channel, it just seemed right to put it on this channel. So there will be highlighted reactions on my React channel, like here and there, but the full reaction is on my main channel right now, the channel you're watching this on, and if you want to check out that video, I'll probably put it on the end screen. But let's talk about that Direct. First, they opened up with a full reveal of the brand new Mario Kart coming to Switch 2, and it is called Mario Kart World. It looks beautiful, the scope of this game looks crazy. I do plan on talking about Mario Kart World in a future video, so I will leave my full thoughts for that video. So if you don't want to miss it, I suggest subscribing so you don't miss it. However, at the end of the Mario Kart World reveal, they also revealed there will be a Mario Kart World Direct on the 17th. And of course, I will react to that as well, and I might post it on this channel, I might post it on my second channel, I'm not sure. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. After Mario Kart, they showed off what that little C button on the right Joy-Con will do. And for all the things that little C could stand for, the C stands for chat. That's right, Nintendo is finally introducing game chat into one of their consoles. Much like an Xbox Live Party or a PSN Party, you can join these little game chats and talk with your friends while you game. This was a feature that I really wish was patched into the original Switch, but I'm very happy to see it here. Nintendo's finally caught up with Xbox and PlayStation and given us like a party chat function. Of course, you will need a Nintendo Switch Online membership to be able to use this function, but it's pretty cool that it's here. You can even hook up a camera and show the direct feed to your game chat, which is pretty cool. Or you can kind of choose an option where it's like a green screen and it's like just showing you somewhat. So that's pretty cool too. And yeah, that's game chat. After that, they also showed that there will be a game share feature, which is very cool. It's very similar to how download play worked on the 3DS and DS, where it's like you set up a local connection, they kind of download like local data for the game, and then you get to play it without having to own another copy. They also showed that the Switch will be a little bit bigger, with of course a bigger screen, but it remains the same thickness, which I think is very interesting. This also means that your carry case for your Nintendo Switch won't work. You'll have to buy a separate one for your Switch 2, but it's certainly interesting that they kept the same like thickness. It was also shown that Switch 2 can run games up to 120 FPS, and that to me is a huge upgrade. I seriously thought they were gonna cheap out and just keep it at 1080-60, but no, we will get upwards of 120 FPS, and that is huge. They also showed that Metroid Prime 4, when it comes out, it will be able to run at 4K. That is insane to hear on a Nintendo console. Then they went into other things like the stand and like the new USB-C port on the top, which we already knew. Then they got to the storage. Instead of the 32 gigabytes that you had on the system memory for your Switch 1, on the Switch 2 you will have 256 gigabytes. I believe that is 8 times the storage of the original Switch, and that's awesome. They also showed that the thumbsticks on the Switch 2 will be a little bit bigger, which is nice. They didn't say that there was going to be Hall effect technology, which I really hope this doesn't mean we're just repeating history and we're going to have stick drift on the Switch 2 as well, but only time will tell with that. They also, after that, they showed that there was going to be a tech demo kind of game. It's going to be a launch title, and it's basically a playable tech demo, and it's going to it shows like a virtual Switch 2, and there's like different like cards you can go to tell you more about the Switch 2. This would be great if it was free. Apparently it's going to be a paid launch title, and you can just like walk around in it and like explore like the Switch 2 console itself. I really think it should have been free, just because if it's going to be like 20-30 bucks, nobody's going to pay that. My guess is it's going to be like $5. You pay $5 and you get to play this little experience. They didn't disclose the price though, so it's really up in the air right now. And after that, they showed that the game cards will be red instead of black to differentiate them from the original Switch 1 cartridges. But for additional storage, you'll need microSD Express cards, which means you can't just like pop your normal microSD card from your Switch 1 into your Switch 2 unless it's already an Express card. So that's really unfortunate that you're gonna have to go out and buy like a whole new SD card if you don't already own one. They also showed off the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller, and it looks so clean. It looks very similar to the current Switch Pro controller, but it seems like the buttons are a little bit bigger, and it also has that C button in the middle of the controller for obviously the chat function. And the top has white trim, which I really like. Oh, it also has an audio jack on the bottom, which is pretty nice. After that, they went into the different types of games you'll be able to play on your Switch 2 console, which is very nice. Of course, the first one being Nintendo Switch 2 games, the second one being compatible Nintendo Switch games. And I'm gonna freeze frame on this this image in particular. If you look, I'm gonna zoom into it as well. If you look next to Link's Awakening, you'll see a game that you might not recognize from the Switch library, and that's because that's Yoshi's Woolly World, a game that has not been announced or brought to Switch yet. And this pretty much means that Nintendo accidentally revealed that Yoshi's Woolly World is coming to the Switch, which is awesome. If you haven't been around the channel, you will know that I end every single direct predictions with Yoshi's Woolly World because that's the last Wii U game that I really want on the console. And this confirms that it's coming to the console. Like, I don't know why this wasn't at the last Nintendo Direct, the one that was the week before the Switch 2 Direct. But when I saw this earlier, I was like, no way, they're actually bringing it to Switch 1. You cannot believe how happy I am that this game's coming to Switch, because I love this game. I love the art style of the music. I just love everything about Yoshi's Woolly World, and seeing that it's basically confirmed for Switch 1 now, I'm very excited to get my hands on it. But with that aside, they also announced that there will be Switch 2 edition games of existing Switch 1 games. Mario Party Jamboree is getting a Switch 2 version, Kirby and the Forgotten Land is getting a Switch 2 version with added content, and both Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are getting Switch 2 versions, which honestly, there's no surprise there. They're very, very well-selling games, so I'm not surprised that they're giving us a Switch 2 version of those games. They're going to be basically enhanced ports, more or less, some with added content. And if you already own the Switch 1 version, you can buy the upgrade pack. And I don't really know how to feel about the upgrade pack yet. I'll have to see it once I get a Switch 2 in my hands. But the Switch 2 edition games seem very iffy. But again, I have another video planned where I will talk about that. And they also showed off a lot of third parties, and Elden Ring is finally going to be playable on the Switch 2, which I think is crazy. I think that's going to bring in a lot of people, and I think that game's going to sell very well. This is the big third party port that we're getting at launch, kind of like how we got Skyrim around launch with the regular Switch. This is going to be that big third-party release that really gets people invested, especially with how big the Elden Ring community is. I think this is going to be a very welcome version of the game, and I'm excited to see how well it runs on Switch 2. They also showed off that there was going to be a brand new Hyrule Warriors, which is pretty cool. I don't know how necessary this game is, but it's basically the events leading up to Tears of the Kingdom. That's what the story is of this new Hyrule Warriors. I believe it's called Age of Imprisonment. Very cool. Very happy for the Zelda fans that they got something new, and I'm kind of looking forward to see if there's going to be a demo for this. And after that, they showed that GameCube is coming to the NSO service on Switch 2. And we have been waiting for GameCube games for, I think, close to 2.5 years now, maybe 3. And I honestly am not surprised that it's coming to the Switch 2 NSO service, because GameCube emulation is pretty hard, especially considering that the Switch is based on mobile technology. It's probably impossible on the Switch 1. Maybe not impossible, but it's definitely probably not good if they decide to do it on Switch 1. So I'm okay with the fact that they waited to make the Switch 2 to bring us GameCube games for the Nintendo Switch Online service. And a bunch of other third-party stuff shown off. Hollow Knight Silksong was announced, and it was given a 2025 release window, which is huge. This is, I believe, the first Hollow Knight Silksong material that we've seen since its reveal. So it's really cool to see that it's coming to Switch 2 this year. We might even get an Indie World soon, and we might see a release date. That'd be cool. And they ended it off with 2 major Switch 2 titles coming this year. And one of those titles is Kirby Air Riders, seemingly a sequel/successor to the kind of controversial Kirby Air Ride game for the GameCube. Some people really like it, some people really don't like it. I've heard very mixed things on it, but from what I've seen, it looks kind of fun. So it's kind of cool to see it reimagined in this day and age. It was given a 2025 release window. It was not given a solid date, but as a Kirby fan, I am so happy a new Kirby game's coming this year. Editing Virus showed the clip of my honest reaction. Is that the Warp Star? Is that the Warp Star? That's the Warp, is that? Oh my gosh, that's the Warp Star. Kirby? It's a new Kirby game! It's a new Kirby game! What is this? It's a new Kirby game, but what is this? What is this? I need to know. Tell me more. Wait, what? There's no way this is... Wait. Is this Kirby Air Ride 2? There's no way, right? Oh my gosh, this is Kirby Air Ride 2. Oh my gosh! It's Kirby Air Ride 2! Riders, okay. Kirby Air Riders. I was literally so excited that I like almost burst. And the last first-party game revealed for Switch 2 did get a release date, and it was a 3D Donkey Kong game called Donkey Kong Bonanza. It seems you run around the world and you can punch stuff, punch enemies, and you can like dig and like destroy the terrain, throw the terrain around. There was a Nintendo Treehouse Live yesterday, and there will be one today by the time you're watching this, and I believe Donkey Kong Bonanza was part of the first Nintendo Treehouse Live from yesterday. By the time you see this video, it'll be yesterday. And I'll probably check it out. I might react to it. I was actually supposed to react to it on this channel today, but I saw that the first Nintendo Treehouse Live was 4 hours long, and if today's Treehouse Live is also 4 hours long, that'd be like an 8-hour video, and I don't think anyone's really gonna want to watch that, so I think I'll react to the Treehouse Live segments just in, well, segments on my second channel, Virus Reacts, so I'll probably leave a link to that in the description. But yeah, a 3D Donkey Kong game, kind of like, this game is kind of like the Mario Odyssey of the Switch 2. It is a big 3D adventure coming in the Switch's launch year, and I'm pretty excited for it. They're of course going with this new, like, redesign for Donkey Kong to look more like the Mario movie. They're also doing this redesign in Mario Kart World, and I know that it's supposed to be reminiscent of like his original appearance on the NES, but like, I don't know, he doesn't look as intimidating as he used to be. But regardless of that, I'm still pretty excited for this game. And Donkey Kong Bonanza is coming out in July, which is very exciting. And last but certainly not least, Nintendo gave us a release date for the Switch 2, and that is June 5th of this year. And as of tomorrow, that will be 2 months away. That's crazy. And they also revealed that more details will be revealed on the Switch 2 website. And oh boy, were more details revealed on that Switch 2 website. There were a lot of details that a lot of people are not happy with, and I do plan to make a full video on how I feel about the Switch 2 reveal, both Nintendo Direct and on the website, and just all the new information like surfacing now. I do plan on making this video about all the crazy stuff that came out about the Switch 2 on Monday, so if you don't want to miss that, be sure to subscribe because I will be posting it on Monday, and I'm very excited to get that video out because I really want to talk about it because I have a lot of strong opinions and a lot of like strong like words to say about what's going on with this Switch 2 reveal regarding like game pricing, release date, pricing of the Switch 2, some of the decisions they're making for the Switch 2. I have a lot of strong words to say. So if you want to see what I think of all this, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video. But yeah, that's the video. That was me talking about the Switch 2 Direct. Overall, I thought the Direct was really good, and they really seem to be pulling out all the stops for this console. Big third-party releases, big first-party releases, really beefy console that can run at like 120 frames per second, potentially. This is most likely going to be Nintendo's best console moving forward, and I'm really excited to see how they might top the Switch 2, perhaps with the Switch 3. Yeah, the Switch 2 Direct happened. It was really fun to watch, and thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and hit that bell so you never miss any Virus content. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Virus out.